With the abrupt ending to Shin Godzilla, a creature that showed so much promise for total annihilation, the audience was left with an itch for more. The movie, which was made in an unofficial protest towards the slow reaction regarding the Fukushima nuclear disaster, focused again on Godzilla emerging from the ocean to destroy Japan, and this time it was a different take on the kaiju. Shin Godzilla was evolution incarnate. He was supposedly an ancient sea life form that was exposed to radiation and radioactive waste dumped by the United States, and he kept on evolving until he became a 118.5 meter tall kaiju. So according to the art of Shin Godzilla and several other official publications, the fourth form was merely a beginning baby, and Godzilla would continue to evolve. Future forms and consequences of this have been noted, and it was pointed that extinction on the subcellular scale is necessary to defeat Godzilla, and that the blood coagulant was just a temporary measure, something that was easily overcome by Godzilla, who was evolution itself. So in this video, we will discuss all the 8 forms that Shin Godzilla was theorized to have, and by the end of it, it will leave you shocked as to what he will become. So let's go step by step till we get to the final stage. The
I hear the app's banging. Let's see.
Anything for the fans?
form. Godzilla is not born out of the dropping of a nuclear bomb, but rather out of nuclear waste dumped in the sea. Godzilla, like most other monsters, if not all, is a monster that humans make directly or indirectly. We learn it was created when a marine animal consumes nuclear waste dumped by the United States in the sea. Once again, nuclear waste and victims lie at the origin of Godzilla. These marine animals were ancient sea life forms that continued to exist till the present day, and this origin was similar to that of Destoroyah. The first form. The first form is never physically seen in the film aside from its tail and part of its back. The tail is reddish in color, while its back is covered in tan dorsal fins. While the art behind Shin Godzilla shows that the first form was a tadpole-like creature that had 2 legs that were very primitive in looks. The head kind of resembles a frog, but with very large gills coming out from the side. It is seen to have the same yellowish skin as seen in the second form that made landfall. While the dorsal plates are barely formed, they are quite visible though. The biggest part was the very active tail part that was easily over 14 to 20 meters long, but it is unknown however if this form had any powers at all. The second form. Godzilla's second form stands horizontally, with its body held parallel to the ground. This form had small stubs in place of arms, and huge eyes with small black pupils. Unlike Godzilla's later forms, this form possesses a sickly yellow complexion, with red exposed muscle on its back and shark-like gills that frequently bleed, showing that it struggles to breathe outside the water, and has a tail with a fluke at the end of it like the first form. This form looks like it was recently out of a hellish womb and was crawling without any purpose or direction. However, it was still big. It was 28 meters tall or 91 feet. The third form. The third form of Godzilla is very much like traditional incarnations in regards to appearance. This form is bipedal with stronger, more developed hind limbs and the ability to assume a stance much like modern Godzilla possesses, smaller forelimbs and a long neck compared to its body. In this form, heat can be visibly seen from its fins, meaning that its mutation consumes much energy and produces a lot of heat. Its gills also have shrunk and closed up, suggesting that this form has now adapted to breathe on land. Despite being bipedal, its legs had not very fully developed, causing it to noticeably shake while walking. The fourth form. This fourth form of Shin Godzilla is very much akin to other traditional designs, being fully bipedal with a fully developed row of dorsal spines and a much taller height in comparison to its prior form. The shade of skin for this form is much darker black color with red glowing highlights around and those exposed areas of the body, such as his neck, back and legs. His hellish face has no cheeks, no lips, and multiple rows of jagged and gnarled teeth that seem to jut out from everywhere. His eyes do not have any eyelids, although a protective nictitating membrane sometimes forms over them when he spews out the thermal flame and the atomic breath. But the most noticeable change is the tail, which was easily twice as long as the entire body. The fifth form seen in the movie. After being forcefully fed with the blood coagulant, Shin Godzilla went into an inanimate stage in which his entire body shuts down. But to fight humans, he must evolve to be like them, and hence Godzilla's fifth form takes on an eerily human shape with Godzilla-like dorsal plates running up their spines. Models for the evolution show that they lack eyes despite the concept art of the design originally possessing them, and a large divide runs down their cranium. Like its predecessor's form, the humanoid forms aren't muscular and appears to be very emaciated with a large hole present in their chest, which makes them look like deadly zombie kaiju races. The proposed fifth form. According to the Art of Shin Godzilla and several other official publications, Shin Godzilla was to acquire the capability of flight, maybe with wings or shooting his atomic breath and propelling himself like a rocket, who knows. He was proposed to undergo self-division without limits to eventually cover the entire planet, and with this divided forms, he may shrink in size and form a legion, becoming immune to the blood coagulant plan as well as lose sensitivity to pain and emotions. He could very well undergo a self-generation of a completed form from the tiniest fragment of the body if he was defeated. So the evolutionary strategy was to become a swarm species of smaller Godzillas and take over the world. Interestingly, it was revealed in 2012 that a memo named Shin Godzilla was left by Ishiro Honda. He was planning to create a Godzilla to self-divide and coalesce enemies and grow larger, enabling aerification and solidification and the ability to become inanimate. A deleted scene within the film features a slightly different take on Godzilla's continued adaptation and mutation. In the scene, the JSDF investigating areas around the now dormant Godzilla finds a biomass that was blown off from the monster, and this biomass had developed eyes and teeth. However, the creators of the film thought that this idea would be too disturbing to watch. The sixth form. In this other form that never made it to the big screen, Godzilla was planned to have overcome requirements of air and water to survive. Since we all know that Godzilla was born of radiation, he will have evolved to an extent that he will achieve self-energy production, and theorized that he will have achieved limitless nuclear fusion and thus overcome energy problems, but there is still the factor of consuming hydrogen for fusion reactions. Other plans for him was that, along with having energy independence, he would transform into a Lovecraftian entity that would eventually lose all these organs and become a fleshy mass with indescribable parts. In this stage, he will eventually invade outer space and other planets and start to spread his form of life to the stars. The seventh form. As he continues to expand and evolve to survive the conditions of outer space, he will become a hive mind and know what everything is happening around him. He would be able to survive any type of harsh environments in all types of planets and space objects. But the strangest evolution of his is that he will be able to synthesize any type of material and elements at will to form out of nowhere. And also that due to this, he will be able to generate and contain a small universe within his body. But even this will have an end. But as his evolution and purpose is to never cease to exist and grow and expand, he will overcome this with stage 8. The eighth form. In his final form, Shin Godzilla is planned and theorized to transcend physical law and reaching the level of God. And with this, he will attain immortality. Not that vampire kind of immortality, but the omnipotent, omniscient and godlike immortality in that he is omnipresent in his own universe, and everything that evolves in it is a part of him. He would become the Lovecraftian entity called Azathoth, a slumbering idiot god in that everything that exists is because of his dreams. In this final form, he will be the ultimate stage of life itself and create new life if he so pleases. And so with this we come to the end of the video about the 8 forms of Shin Godzilla. Do leave your thoughts down below and leave a like and hit that notification bell for more videos like these.